Is that correct? You understand the gag order still follows, sir? And that is absolutely contrary to the gag order. It violates the gag order. There's no question about it. Now, Celeste, at this point, I don't know the need to have a contempt proceeding. At some point in time, we'll address that and I'll defer at the conclusion of this case as to what you want to do, but at this point I'm going to defer any contempt proceeding at this point. And I'm not ruling at all, Mr. Trussell. I think there's, at least from my standpoint, the fact that there was an interview prima facie says to me that's a violation of the gag order. Now, whether or not there was some explanation or just cause of doing it, I'll defer that until I have a full opportunity to hear that matter. But clearly, on its face, oddly enough, those of you that we were together in the, any of you that were here for the Cottrell trial, there was a violation of the order there too. And the reporter phone went off and interrupted the solicitor's closing argument. And we had to have a hearing because I had him come forward and told him to get his lawyer and be back at 2 o'clock. And just to show that, because I was ready to put him in jail because we'd had a problem the day before. There was a lady who traveled from Virginia or West Virginia, I think, in support of the victim's family. And not being from this state, she was not aware, and I made it known, but specifically said that there was be no phones, and if any did go off, then I'd have to deal with it because of the Chief Justice's order. That the journalist was present, and it went off and it rang for, seemed like forever, before he turned it off. And I frankly was wanting to put him in jail then. When he came, he told me that his wife had to go out of town and he had responsibility for his children. And his child was sick when he took him to school. And he said, please call me and I can come. And he said, I meant to put it on vibrate and I didn't. Well, it didn't, I mean, he shouldn't have done it in the first place, but that changed the attitude of what, now he was fined for contempt, but all of that's tailed to just tell you, I find that there's a reason for us to have a hearing maybe at a later date. So but thank you for calling that to the court's attention. And again, I would remind, not that it's necessary, the gag order in this case continues. And, you know, I respect the journalists that are present, and I thank you. You have been nothing but professionals thus far, and I appreciate that very much. You've honored the court's request and been very inconspicuous in providing the coverage, and thank you for that. And frankly, I thought the coverage has been very fair as well. I can't say I've watched all of it, but it's been just reporting what happened and not so much spinning it, and I thank you for that as well. But please remember that these individuals, while they would love to talk to you, they can't. And it would help if you just didn't pursue that. I mean, I look at this, we're all part of the same process. You know, my feeling is, and it's been my feeling since I started this job, this belongs to the people, and they're entitled to it, and you're entitled to be here. But just as we know we have freedom of speech, except we can't go in a crowded theater, that's a typical example, and yell fire. Because it's just, we have a responsibility to each other. And I think this is all part of the same thing. I want to make this a public proceeding, but we have some rules we have to work with, and if everybody's kind of working towards that, everything gets done properly and professionally. And let me again hasten to say, I'm not suggesting anybody's done anything wrong, but thank you again for that. Appreciate it. Okay.
The state would just request that the jurors be questioned, not specifically about the statement, because that would draw.
Listen, solicitor, you're preaching to the choir. This oath that I'm administering is for one reason. If it comes out later and it will happen. It's happened. Somebody says, one of the persons on the jury says, you know, I wish if I hadn't have seen that. And guess what happens? This comes back, we do it all over again.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes,
So
sir.
just, everybody needs to be aware of that. Okay? Thank you. All right. Are we ready for the jury? Let's bring them in, please. Thank you.